Every drink has a story. Every shift has a moment that sticks with you. Good, bad, or completely insane, behind the laughter, the chaos, and the clinking of the glasses, that's where the real stories live. This is Bartender Bangaz, where we pour out the truth straight. No chaser. What's up, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Bartender Bangaz, where the shots are strong, the drinks are tall, and our guest is even taller. I'm Mark the Shark, a.k.a. Schmark, and this week we are joined by a man who wears many hats, but apparently not a Jimmy hat, because he is a father of three. He's a firefighter, he's a coach, he's a teacher, he's a Christmas tree salesman, he's a bartender. He is Big Rich Beadle. Let's give it up.
Thank you.
Welcome to the podcast, Rich.
It's weird hearing that out loud. You forget you do all those things, and yeah.
I don't know how you could forget. You do them all.
Yeah, well,
Each week.
We are a Renaissance man.
Yeah. Dude, you're a busy man. I'm glad we could lock you down for this too. We've been
Sunday morning.
Sunday morning.
This
yeah.
is it. This is the block.
And he was here last night until 4 a.m, so he's going on a couple hours of sleep right now.
Let's take everything with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
There we go.
Brightwaters Inn's finest. Brightwaters, New York. Here we are. So let's get this thing started. We like to start off, shoot everybody your credentials. Where did you get started in bartending? And where have you worked? And what brought you here?
All right. Well, that is quite the story.
Yeah, let's hear it all.
First job in a bar. Henley's now was Toddler House.
Okay, yeah.
So Ray Fifield, firefighter in Bayshore, was bartending there, and got to bar back there a few times when I was like 16. So dipped my toes into the bar industry there. Took a hiatus while I was in college playing football, and then when football was done, started bouncing. So I got back into the bars bouncing, and had a bouncing experience where the owner comes up to me one night and just goes, "Big Rich, sir," he goes, "I can't have you bouncing here anymore, man." And I'm like, "Why not?" He goes, "Well, you dance the entire night." I was like, I can't have my bouncer, on the dance floor the entire night. But if you want to bartend, that'd be great. And,
we can have our bartenders dancing.
Did that for a little bit. That wasn't like where I got my my big start, but that's kind of what got me into the idea that I could bartend. I don't have to just stand at a door and collect IDs and covers. So my big experience, obviously, I was working in Manhattan. So there's a story, of course. Football was done, senior year. Not really working, was working for the college. Part of my scholarship was I had to be an admissions rep, so I give tours and go to high schools and set up the desk and hand out the flyers.
And what college?
Iona.
Oh, you went to Iona?
Oh, yeah, I'm a Gale. Okay. Go Gales. So season's done, wintertime. We have like a horrific blizzard that rolls through, right? It's like 3 feet of snow. So classes are canceled next day. It's like a Thursday. So Friday classes are canceled. So we go to the frat house. I'm pretty sure we were catching up on Entourage, right? We're all 14 of us sitting there.
Yeah.
30 racks, pizzas. Like if you show up to the frat house, you bring a 30 rack, you bring a pizza, you bring like a sleeve of chips, so you bring something, right? So we're all sitting there. We're like on our third episode, so we've had a couple cocktails at this point. Get a phone call from Dom DeLeo. So he was my pledge master, and by chance, a lot of guys in my fraternity managed these East Side bars. So when I was in college at Iona, it was called like bridge and tunnel bars, right? So all the people coming in from Long Island, from Westchester, from Staten Island, North Jersey, and usually they're out of there at 3 o'clock because they're getting the 326 home. So it was cool. So it was great. I mean, a ton of regulars from Iona, Manhattan, Wagner, Staten Island, NYU. We had a ton of regulars. It was fantastic. So we're at the frat house. Dom DeLeo calls the house, right? He goes, "Hey guys, I'm in a really bad spot." So Thursdays they used to bring in guest bartenders, and the guest bartender had to bring in 30 people or they wouldn't get X back. It was all just a sham to get 60 college kids in on a slow night. So Dom calls the frat house. He's like, "Guys, all my guest bartenders called out because of the blizzard, right? So I have nobody." So he's like, "I don't get like people with a pulse behind this bar. I'm cooked." And I didn't realize until like working for the company for 10 years later on that he would have absolutely been cooked. Like our boss was no joke, right? So we literally drew straws. We literally drew straws. There's 16 of us there. Myself, this kid Carl, and this kid Billy, William Wallace, we call him. Drew the short straw. So we got into my 1977 Buick Saber from Westchester. Drove to the closest subway I can get to in the Bronx. Like parked it on the grass. It was 4 feet of snow. Like, it was 4 feet of snow. Took the subway down. The subways were still running. Metro North was not. Got to McFadden's. Hopped behind the bar. Bartended from probably 9 p.m. till 3 in the morning. Made like $14, you know.
Nice.
It was like, cost me more to get there in the subway and the gas to get down there. I told my buddy Dom, I'm like, Dom, you know, you're welcome. I'll take 3 orders of wings to go, you know, for football tomorrow. And, you know, I went home. And I did not think anything was going to come of it, right? So next day, I get a phone call, raspy voice on the phone. Hey, is this Big Rich? I'm like, yeah. He's like, hey, it's Joe Hitty, the manager over here at McFadden's Calico Jack's Turtle Bay. He's like, would you be interested in bartending? And I'm like, no, man, I made $14 fucking last night. You know? Like, absolutely not. So he calls me back, which I now realize was wild, right? That he actually called me back. He's like, you got a couple buddies that bartend down here. Give them a call, see how they do on the weekends, and maybe call me back. Pick up the phone, call my buddy Paulie. You know, I knew he worked at Turtle Bay, McFadden's, Calico's. And I'm like, Paul, you know, I got this guy Joe Hitty on the phone. He told me to give you a call. Like, how do you guys do on the weekends down there? It's like, we do pretty great, Rich. You know, like more money than I've ever heard of in my life. You know, we grew up pretty modest.
Yeah.
And I called the guy back. You know, hey, sorry about that, Mrs. Sir. He's like, all right.
Being all nice to him.
He's like, all right. So he's like, you got to come in Friday. You got to come in a suit. Fuck. All right. So I did it, man. You know, I was done playing football. I was taking like 3 classes to finish up my undergraduate at this time. I was already accepted to graduate school at IO when I was great. So I knew I was staying there for a couple more years. It was great. Go down there, meet the gentleman. And he's like, all right, well, he's like, you have to earn it. And I'm like, oh, God, what does that mean? You know, so I had to be the minister of hospitality, right? So all these bars were all next to each other on 2nd Avenue in the city. And for months, I had to like go from bar to bar to bar and like do all the skits, run all the promotions, do the wheel, you know, lead all the sing-alongs, and in a suit every night, you know. And my random friends with Bayshore would roll in, and when they last saw me when I was 17 leaving Bayshore, I was not.
I was going to say, that happened to me. I walked into that bar when I was like 22 years old, 23 years old, and I saw Big Rich on the bar singing Aerosmith, and I was like, I know that guy. I was so hyped to see you up there. I'm like, oh shit, I graduated with that dude. He's singing on the bar right now.
We were like, it was hard. We were a party bar. You know, that's what we called it. You know,
Yep.
And like, I guess the best way to explain it for people our age that saw the movie was like Coyote Ugly. You know, but you know, we had a couple dudes. You know, but you had to be a dude. You know, you couldn't just be a guy. You know? And it was wild. You know, we had to do like 10, 12 skits a night. We do them at our weddings. It's great. You know, we used to do I'm on a boat, and we used to row the bar. You know, it was the bar backs. Be throwing water up at us. We'd be drowning on top of the bar.
I'm on a boat.
You know, so yeah, it was wild. You know, and of course, just being 6'8", 400 pounds, like a college right tackle. Everything we did was I guess funnier. You know, or
Yep.
it popped. You know, it popped. And also these surprising athleticism, obviously, of hopping up on that bar, and, you know, getting off of it also.
Yeah.
Multiple times in the evening. But no, that was it was such an experience, you know. And there's a million stories.
Yeah. And how long did you work there for?
So I was with you know, they were East Coast saloons, you know, and the bars I primarily worked at were McFadden's and Calico Jack's on 42nd and 2nd.
Okay.
Midtown, the UN was 2 doors away. NYU dorms behind us, Tudor City. It was great. And then Turtle Bay, which is on 52nd and 2nd, between 51st and 52nd.
Okay.
And that was our club. You know, that was 800 people, DJs, foam machines, bubbles. Like it was
crazy,
wild. You know. And so those were the 3 main bars. I was there, I would say, from 2010 up into the pandemic. And then after the pandemic, the city just went to hell. And I was fortunate that I was able to, you know, find a place literally 500 feet from my house that I could work,
Right.
you know, and still, you know, pay the child care, diapers, formula.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what it is now, you know, and the owner, Tim, knows that, you know. I always tell him, like, Tim, I really appreciate it because for me, this is literally from bar into formula, diapers, childcare.
Yeah.
You know, that's exactly where it goes, you know. And
Your kids got to be thankful for this place.
oh, my kids love this place. You know, it's
Yeah.
weird because when I was a kid, my dad used to be a bouncer, right? My dad's a monster, huge. My dad couldn't even fit through that door if he tried. Still, you know, like we went to a bar one time, Sand City, and they had a T-shirt on the wall, and it said, "I got bounced by TR." My dad's TR, of course, right? And they flipped the shirt around, and on the back it said, "and survived." Right? So he was a vibe too, you know, just not the same kind. But you know, to me as a kid, going to the bar wasn't a bar. You know, it's always been like a restaurant to me or something like that. So
Right.
my kids come in here, 2 years old, 5 years old. post up at a table, chicken fries, tater tots, lemonade. Like they know the routine.
Yeah.
They go to the bartender X for the foosball, like without me saying anything.
They're at
you
home
know?
here.
Yeah,
They feel comfortable.
But that's also kind of the vibe here.
Yeah.
The owner Tim is great. He's done a lot to innovate and get this place, for what it should be. The town watering hole.
Yeah.
And he put a kids menu out, and we have a ton of families that come in here all the time. Like all the kids are dabbing me up, Big Rich. And I'm like, oh man, you're 11. But it's really become like that place here in the village.
And so you've been here for about 5 years now, you said?
Yeah, so I came in with the old ownership.
Yep.
Mike and Deb, wonderful, wonderful people, local people, so kind to me. That was a story. So I came back from the city. I was trying to find something local, so I started at the John Thomas, right? Local, just legendary John Thomas Inn here. Unfortunately, though, after a few years, that business did shut down. The Lulu's bought it or something.
Yep.
So I call a friend of ours, Jay Derland, not the legend, right, Jay? And Jay's always been a guy in the bartending industry that I've leaned on for advice, questions, especially when I was trying to come back local. Like in Manhattan, I knew everybody.
Right.
Westchester, I knew everybody. But here on the island, I left when I was 17. So I didn't know anybody. So called Jay. Jay, hey man, John Thomas just shut down. Still got to buy those diapers. If you hear of anything, let me know. Rich, give me 15 minutes. All right, no problem, bro. Calls me back 10 minutes later. Hey man, I'm going to Hauser's for the summer. Someone's got to man the Bee-Wee on Saturday nights. I already spoke to Mike and Deb, told them your deal. They would love to have you. I was here for the summer. Fortunately for myself, all the boys from the firehouse turned out every night. The football guys turned out every night.
Yep.
My brothers, I have 3 brothers, turned out every night. And by the end of the summer, Mike and Deb had asked me to stay. And Jay was actually, really taking off with the tiling, and he was cool with it.
Yep.
So he comes in here and cocktails with me often. But that's how it started. And then they had the ownership change here. And I was one of the fortunate, 2 or 3 that were exes day.
Yeah. Oh, that's dope that you have. Those are great connections. Like in the bartender world, knowing people like that are willing to share their shift with you, not try to, push
Money
you
out
out
of his pocket. Money out of his pocket.
Right.
And
That's cool.
I never forget that. And I always speak very highly of him to anyone that asks because, being in the bartending industry as long as we have, like, it could be a shady business, man. And,
for sure.
And people will stab you in the back and people will take your shifts. And it's rare that you find someone like that who's willing to take money out of their pocket.
Definitely.
And
Yeah. You got to appreciate
Give it to your
that.
family, really. Because he knew. I told him, I was like, Jay, I need to pay my childcare. It's $500 a week.
And so you work in here, you and Matt, Saturday nights.
Ryan. Matt's his brother. Matt's the chef at Henley's. Yeah, so
I knew
that wasn't out of left field.
That was
Matt, his brother over at Henley's.
Ross.
Did Hideaway. I think he's the chef at Hideaway. Fantastic.
Yeah.
The kid is unbelievable. Both Ryan's unbelievable bartender. His brother's an unbelievable cook.
Yeah.
So I'm still waiting for
So
that
you're here with
invite.
Ryan on Saturday nights. You guys must have a drink or two.
Oh, yeah.
What are you drinking on shift?
So everybody knows. Everybody knows.
Yeah.
So you can come in here. You just put 2, 3, how many fingers, of the amount of guzzlers that you would like.
Okay.
And the guzzler comes from the John Thomas. A lot of people know Pat. Pat, the handlebar mustache. Pat Bishop, right? Doesn't carry a cell phone. Doesn't know cell phone, so you can't really get in touch with him too easy. He's got to be going on 70.
Okay.
I love him to death. You see him every morning. He does miles around the Brightwaters community every morning, But his drink from the 70s, the guys at the firehouse told me they were doing this in the 70s, was the guzzler. And it's literally a rack rum and Diet Coke, like, little rocks glass.
So something on this show we like to do is try out your shift
Yeah,
drink
let's
like
do
we're
that.
on shift.
Let's do that.
Let's make some guzzlers real quick and we'll be
This is
we're right back to drink them.
Marco, yeah.
All right, so
All right, here we go. All right, so this
We
is
got
a,
our
typical-
guzzlers.
Typical guzzler here. Like to welcome people with these, say goodbye to people with these, hang out with people with these.
and this is
This
rack
is a
rum?
Rack rum, only the finest.
Yep.
Castillo. And Diet Coke.
And
this
we
has
just
been,
we got to guzzle the whole thing.
It's about a 50-year tradition here in Bayshore, and we're keeping it alive here at the Brightwaters Inn. We're
Let's
happy
do it.
about it. Cheers, brother.
To shift.
To our kindergarten
Rich,
class.
thank you for being here. Since kindergarten.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little scary how smooth that goes
so
down.
clean. No, it's so bad.
If that was in a pint glass, I could have done it.
It's
It's
unbelievable.
too easy. Wow.
It's actually funny. Ryan, who's much younger than I am, my counterpart. I think it was like Halloween, right? So he texted me at like 9 o'clock. Kids are in bed, wife's in bed. And he's like, Rich, we're at so-and-so's house down in Brightwaters, blah, 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 blah. Like, come on down, man. I'm like, Ryan, you are 25 years old, brother.
Yeah.
Richard is 37. Like, I'm not coming to your house party, He's like, come on, man, blah, 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 blah. So I look over at Lindsay, my wife, who is a home run. She's fantastic. She's like, go hang out with your friend. And I'm like, oh, God. Oh, so I end up going over there. And I'm not going to show up empty-handed. That's one thing we learned here on Long Island, right? You never show up anywhere empty-handed, right? It's rude. So I go to the liquor store. I get 2 bottles of Castillo. Go over here.
Yep.
Go to the Bev. Get 2 cases of Diet Coke cans. Show up to this, college house party. Guzzlers.
2 hands full of guzzlers, yeah.
Bro. I walked in. There's like 40 people there. I got to show you the picture. They somehow got me up for a keg stand. That's an impressive lift for these kids, right?
You got to send me that picture. We'll put it up in this episode.
It's strong. Yeah. It's strong. But it's guzzlers.
Guzzlers.
It sets the mood.
It definitely sets the mood. Give me a drink that screams trouble. Like somebody comes in and you say, "Oh shit, they're gonna." Everybody says that.
Long Island iced tea, bro. Long Island
across
iced tea.
the board.
And even like these days, where like when I was bartending in the city, it was like very common. But if someone today comes in here at like 2 o'clock in the morning and gets like a vodka Red Bull, I'm like looking at him, I'm like,
Yeah.
"What's up, man?"
You're drinking Red Bull at 2 a.m.
2 a.m. Like, you're right. But no, the LIIT because I know that it's gonna be a conversation of, oh my God, this is $20, or this isn't really strong. I'd be like, man, there's 5 alcohols in there.
Yeah.
That's an impossible thing. But the LIIT is a nightmare. And
It's not strong enough. What?
Well, and like we don't have gun sour mix here. Everything we have is like fresh juice.
Okay, yeah.
So like, I feel like the LIIT iced tea with that gun sour mix was pretty good in the city when we used to have them. But it's not the same. So when you get it here with fresh juices, you're like, oh, this isn't. Sir, we have some fine draft beer here.
Yeah.
If you'd like to get involved, or we have this thing called the Guzzler, which I think you'll enjoy.
Yeah, everybody will. Come here and get a guzzler. I'm telling you will not regret it. And then, what's your least favorite drink to make?
The Midnight Bloody Mary.
And what does that consist of?
When someone asks me for a Bloody Mary, I fucking midnight. I'm like, dude, the Bloody Mary mix has been put away for 10 hours.
Yeah.
I don't want to get the horseradish out. And like Cynthia, who's a bartender here, who's like the OG bartender here, right? She's the best. But on Sundays, she puts together these like phenomenal Bloody Marys. She'll get all the fruits. She had shrimp one time. She'll throw wings on there sometimes, right?
Yeah.
So now you get one from me. I'm half of the bag, and I'm not making you a Cynthia Bloody Mary at midnight,
Yep.
And now there's tomato juice everywhere. It smells like why do I smell like horseradish? Disaster. Get away from me.
I have a similar shout out to Kathy Fox at the Sandbar because I'm the same. She makes the Bloody Mary mix. She makes a beautiful Bloody Mary when people come in. She does the celery and this and that, and she makes it look all nice. And then if you come and get it from me, I'm like, take your Bloody Mary. Here's a lemon and a lime with it.
Make you a nice Bloody Mary. It's going to taste great.
It's going to taste good,
look
but it's not going to be all done and fancy.
You're not putting it on the Instagram.
Yeah. It's her Bloody Mary mix.
Also,
it's
shout
always
out to
good.
Kathy, though, because Kathy quick story, she had to have facilitated 5 of me and my wife's first dates. We love them.
Yeah. They've been there forever.
Whenever I see her, I light up. She lights up. We march in the parade every year. She's always out there waving at me.
Such a happy person.
Dude, they're the best.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I love working with them.
Yep.
And then, what is the weirdest drink in your bartending career somebody has ever ordered from you?
It's just when they go to like a resort or a cruise, and there's like a cocktail that they loved.
They bring that home.
Yeah, and they're like, "Hey man, can you make me the Royal Caribbean Punch?" Like the fuck, what?
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
Hey man, I was in Jamaica and they made me this amazing cocktail. I'm like, all right, bet man. Can you just give me a little bit of insight? He's like, nah.
They expect you to just know
I'm
how
like,
to
all
make
right, so is it dark rum? He's like, yeah. I'm like, probably some fresh juices. So yeah, I was making like a dark rum, like fruit punch, And but that's to me that's weird, right?
Yeah.
And then when I was in the city too, like we were making all those fancy martinis with like the chocolate syrup and the caramel and the fucking shells.
Yeah.
So when we were doing the smoked bourbon cocktails in the city with the little over there, I got the torch.
You smoke it?
Oh yeah. Now you're giving me a torch at 2:00 in the morning in my head. Like what are we doing? Once I realized that you could write with Sambuca on the bar and light it up with the torch, they took the torch away from me.
Oh, yeah.
I put names
You're
on there.
lighting everything
Happy
up.
birthday. The bar backs running around with the dry chem extinguisher. This is too much.
And he's a firefighter. Yeah. So he knows what he's doing. Yeah.
Do what you love.
And then it could be anybody, but the person that comes up and says, give me something strong but sweet that tastes good. What is your go-to drink? What are you making them?
I always tell people a Zippy. I sell it. I'm like, hey man, you're local. This is a local cocktail. It's never done me wrong. It's clean.
Zippies go down easy. They taste good.
Seltzer,
They're not overly sweet.
Exactly, bro. Like that's what I'm in for. Cause like I'm a big guy. I'll have cocktails with you all night, right? But I'm not really big into like the carbonated cocktails, with the exception of but the rum does a good job of killing the carbonation. I feel like.
I didn't get too bubbly.
But a Zippy cooler is just I never feel like shit the next day.
Yeah,
that's key. It brings you to a happy place.
Right.
Brings me to the beach.
And then as you were getting started in the city, when you were first, what are some rookie mistakes that you've made or you saw people make that you would look back now and correct?
I always tell people, the rules of the bar business, right? Don't steal, show up on time, and don't steal, right? So that's if you could pull that off, you could be here for a long time, right? But some of the rookie mistakes I see people just getting boxed, right? You have to know your limits, right? So like I saw these these girls come in from Westchester. Oh, I've been bartending at CSI, Staten Island for years. I'm great. One shift with us, at Turtle Bay,
trying to keep up.
We're calling like an Uber at midnight, to send them home, So, I see people that, in bars that allow the bartenders to cocktail. I've seen people just end themselves too early.
Yeah.
There's some other things we've seen people make mistakes about.
Trying to do shots with every customer. That customer's only doing one, that customer's only doing one, that customer's only doing one, but then you're doing three because you're trying to do it with everybody. It's hard to keep up.
I have the advantage, of
you do, but
line. Yes. But yeah, I see people go down. You got to have your dummy drinks.
Yeah,
right.
For sure.
Your Zippy / lemonade. Lemonade cranberry juice on the bar.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I guess it's like kind of taking care of their friends, and kind of knowing that healthy balance, like where if you serve your friends right away and make sure they're the first ones they get served and give them A+ service, like that's taking care of your friends.
Yeah.
I've seen inexperienced bartenders who take care of their friends and then they're fired, because it's like, hey man,
they just gave away the whole bar.
Yeah, man. So, I haven't really worked with like a newbie in a long time. I've been running it now for almost the whole 5 years, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, those are some of the things you saw. But
Definitely.
When I was in the city, though, there was 16 of us that were like family. We would go on Sundays. We'd go to brunch together in the morning. We take a bus down Atlantic City. We do the industry Monday nights at Murmur. I'd be floating in the pool. At Harrah's. It was great. But we were all just so professional. And so many of that crew that I worked with are now, running rooftops, managing Happy Dad, Ugly Duckling, just.
You guys all working together. It's got to be like a brotherhood, especially coming out of college. It was some of your college boys running the place. Any fun pranks that you can remember, or I'm sure there's so much playing around behind the bar that the customer doesn't get to see.
It was encouraged.
Yeah, of course.
We were a party bar. We were lighting each other's ties on fire, lighting the rags on fire. It was a lot of fire. That was part of the gig, right?
So someone has a rag in their back pocket, and you're lighting it up on fire.
We got this little torch behind the bar that they decided to put back there. So that seems like a them problem, right? No, so our owner, right, or our general manager, Joe Hitty, who in himself is an anomaly. I can't even. There would be a whole other episode on this man, right?
Yeah.
He was a huge wrestling fan. So once a year we would all comply with his wish to have a wrestling night, right? So we go all out. Now this is all the bars. So the whole strip of 2nd Avenue in the city, the east side of Manhattan, right? we would put on like full wrestling matches in Manhattan.
Yeah.
Like people would be climbing like the stanchions outside the Marriotts and like jumping off them into piles of garbage. It was absolutely wild. So one night, I was the Undertaker. My Dom DeLeo, the guy who got me started, was Rey Mysterio, and they got us all hyped up. The DJ was playing all the intro music and stuff, and we had like a little faux like wrestling match. And I picked him up 9 feet in the air and put him through a table, not realizing under the table we had a cement floor. Oof. So shattered his arm, straight to the hospital. That night, I think 3 of us were in the ER. I had like a Jack Daniels bottle sticking out of my leg. Phil was in the hospital. But yeah, that was always a good one. At Turtle Bay in the basement, we had our staff bathroom, right? So if anyone was ever in there, you'd like line like we all had our gym bags, so you get changed in the city, right? So you always had like the powder in there, so you'd line the bottom of the door with the powder and blow it in there, and they'd come out covered in baby powder, and then they come up the stairs, and someone would be like, "Dude, what did you do?" It was all friendly. It was all great.
Oh, coworker pranks are the best because it's like a fraternity almost.
It was perfect.
Yeah,
it was perfect.
In your career, I'm sure you've seen plenty of dates gone wrong, whether it's a first date, people just meeting at your bar, or they've been dating for a while. You see those people that are fighting at the bar and they think they're being quiet, but you just see their hands moving. And any fun stories like that?
So it's weird. When I first started in the city, it was before the online dating apps.
Okay.
So like
you had to actually be out to meet people.
You knew like when it was happening because it was like very awkward. Where like someone would walk up and be like, "Hey, did somebody here like check in for like a date?" Because that's what they would do. They come to the bartenders, be like, "Hey, I'm here for a blind date. If you see so and so come in, or someone that looks like this, like let me know." So you see it all the time, right?
Yeah.
And you would know immediately if it was going well or not. Almost instantaneously. Because once you see enough of them, right? but yeah, when I was at the John Thomas, man, there was like these 2 hot corners, and it'd always be someone, husband or wife, coming in and trying to rip the other one out. Well, why are you here? And the husband would have like $500 of like OTB tickets in front of him, and the wife would lose their mind, or the husband would come in and the wife would absolutely be on her second bottle of wine, It's like, we got to go home now, So I've got a lot of like, looks. I've got notes on the receipts, like, hey, this guy's creeping me out.
And you got to step in and try to help her out.
Yeah. And just me, like, I just walk over and I have the personal space discussion with people.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause if I don't see what happened, just like a teacher, I have to assume that this is your story, this is their story, what actually happened is somewhere in the middle, right?
Right.
So if I don't see it myself or have confirmation from somebody else in the bar, or if I don't know the girl, I know most of the girls are in this bar, right? Because they're all from town. But I'll go over there and just have hey, man, there's just like this bubble around people, right? And like, if you get in that bubble, then we're gonna have to remove you from the location.
Yeah.
So it's up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just kill them with kindness, But yeah,
I feel like you let your presence known.
That too. Well. When I step over there and you're staring at my diaphragm, it's. Yep.
You're talking about personal space, all right?
10-4.
Yeah.
We also have the conversation too. Sometimes it gets a little hairy sometimes, right? And we have the conversation of, if anybody puts their hands on anybody, I'm gonna put my hands on you.
Yeah.
So we're good, right? Everyone's
that.
cool. Everyone's like, oh yeah, we're great. We're good. No props.
I've seen you do similar things while I've been hanging out at the bar you work at, and you do it always with a smile, and you do it very friendly. You're like, hey, no, I'm gonna have to kick you out if you do that, And like,
no one wants to be embarrassed,
right?
So I've seen as a customer in other locations, right, where you have these machismo bouncers that just want to fuck somebody up. And that's the worst, right? Mm-hmm. Or you have, the Napoleon complex guys who are like, oh, I work here, blah, 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 blah. I can do whatever I want because I'm a flashlight away from 3 bouncers bailing my little ass out, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I just, I go up to someone, I'm like, hey, man, so I'm not going to make a scene. I'm not going to like really say anything to anybody. Here's your tab. I'm going to ask you to step over to Ryan, close this tab out. I'm going to ask you to leave. And I'll ask you once, I'll ask you twice. And on the 3rd time, you go on the express trip.
Yeah.
But you do get those 2 warnings. I swear on it. There's probably plenty of people that are going to watch this who have gotten those warnings and heeded those warnings.
Right. I was going to say, how many people do you think have gotten to the express trip?
Enough.
Yeah?
Enough. Most of the people not from town who don't know.
Yeah.
And we had one guy go for the express trip, and he came back. And at this point, 2 of my brothers had arrived, who were also 6'8".
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, all right, bet. Brothers. Sent the call out, and Matthew and Andrew pop up, and the guy's like, you know what? I'm going to go to Henley's. I'm like, that's a great move, bro.
Better move, yeah. You ever catch anybody, whether it's in the city or here or wherever, hooking up in a weird place where you got like, the bathroom is like pretty common, but then you have like, you walk into the ice room and you're like, how did you guys find that or something?
People don't expect there to be security cameras where there are security cameras, right? So, maybe not so much actually walking in on the person, but getting the flashlight from the GM to step into the office real quick and going to the camera and seeing 2 people in the liquor room just absolutely going after it, like 100% going.
And they found their way into your liquor room.
Yeah, right.
That's crazy.
My boss will just be like, Rich, you know these guys, or you know this person, right? Or anybody in this video here? And I'd be like, no. I'd be like, all right, bet. So we're just making sure. But then, they go in there and like tear them up. But everything today is on camera. Like I tell this
for sure.
I tell this to the kids at school all the time, right? I'll sit there and I'll listen to their whole story, right? Knowing that I'm sitting there watching it on the camera. As they're
I know
talking.
the real story.
I know exactly what happened.
Yeah.
You know? And I guess a lot of the stories would have to be the unexpected. Hey man, I know you guys were just hanging out in here, but do you see that red flashing light right there?
Yeah.
Our entire security team just saw exactly what you guys just did, and then they just leave.
Yeah. There's no fighting that. And what are some like ridiculous requests you've gotten from customers?
Always the music, right? So there used to be a jukebox in here. I'd have people come in and put on Tom Jones' Pussycat 12 times in a row. Right? I the example, Ryan McNally, Jesse Schoendorf. But or they put on like death metal and leave. Pat would do that all the time. He'd come in here and put on like 3 death metal songs and like smirk at me and leave. Right? So we got rid of the jukebox, thank God. And just the request for the jukebox, or hey, I have a group of 24 people coming in. I'm like, all right, great. What day? What time? Like right now. What?
This is my heads up.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Those are always the weird requests. And again, I was at a wedding last week, and they have this unbelievable signature cocktail with blueberry honey. I'm like, all right, bet, nice. It's like, can you make me something similar? I'm like, no, I cannot.
Yeah. I don't have anything like that.
I've got actually high quality cocktail cherries. I'll do something nice. But no.
Yeah.
I can't make your signature cocktail for your wedding.
Yeah. And then what customer, like stereotype or whatever, would be the hardest for you to deal with? What's like that customer that you're like, want to give a warning to other bartenders?
It's the ones who act like they own the place, right? Mm-hmm. The ones that are like going into like the silverware, the napkins, and grabbing things. I'm like, brother, I will take care of you to the umpteenth degree. You just gotta let me know what you want. Oh, I used to come here 20 years ago. I'm like, bet. That's awesome, dude. Yeah. You can't do that.
Right.
Or, you have the people that come in here, they've been drinking at home, they were overserved somewhere else, they come in, they plop down, they get a friend to buy them a cocktail, because we're not serving them if they're like that,
Right.
And then when you try to have that conversation with them of, oh, hi, we think you've been overserved, and then they just refuse to leave. And for me, the worst one is when it's a girl, because we are a small bar, we will have security on for holidays and events and so on, but on your average Saturday night, it's me. I had an instance one time where we actually had to call the 3rd precinct because we had a female who was overserved, spilling, messing, being disrespectful to people, and we had to have her removed from the bar, and I'm just, unfortunately, they can't go express,
Right, yeah.
That's reserved. Just that person who feels a sense of entitlement, or, oh, I know the owner. And I'll be like, you probably don't. You probably, I know who you know.
Right.
They don't know the bar anymore. Those entitled people, or those people that are really just looking to give you a hard time.
I always tell people that say that, if you know the owner
spend money
and
here.
You want something,
spend money here.
Well, you should want to support him.
100%.
And then on the other end of that, you should call him. Give him a call.
Bet.
Let me know. Like
Tim will text me. Hey, so-and-so's coming out tonight. Take care of it.
You know how many people say, oh, well, I don't have his number. Well, how well do you know him then?
You are not his friend.
You might have heard his name. You might have met him once, but...
and it gives you such a bad feel, when that happens. But I want to go back to what you said before, though, because I've had this conversation with people a lot, right? And, guys like Ryan will ask me questions like this because they know I've just been around.
Yeah.
I always tell people, you look to your elders not because they're smarter than you. You look to your elders just because they've had more experiences than you. It's a big part of my history class. I teach that,
Right.
And so I tell people, like, whenever someone says, like, this is their friend's bar, it's like, awesome. Like, thank you for coming to support your friend's bar.
What are some, everybody finds weird stuff. People drop, people lost, weird stuff. What are some of the weirdest things that you've found, even if it's not here, in the city?
Okay, so different here than the city, right?
Yeah.
In the city, you would find the craziest shit. Like,
Name us a couple.
Narcotics. Let's just say narcotics.
Yeah, so you'd find a lot of drugs. But drugs are almost, in this kind of business, at a late night, if you have a late night bar, a lot of them find drugs on the floor and stuff.
You see it.
Yeah, it's not so shocking. But like anything shocking, like weird.
The condoms in the city.
Condoms.
Like the used condoms in the city. On the dance floor, we were packed tight in the club. Like at Turtle Bay, it was tight.
Yeah.
So that happened.
And you'd find used condoms when cleaning up.
Yeah, sometimes. Not all. That was rare.
Right.
That was rare. There'd be an announcement,
But in the middle of the dance floor or something.
Corner of the dance floor.
Yeah.
Behind a back bar. So I'm happy they were being safe.
Yeah.
Wild. You do find the bags of stuff. That goes
Right.
that goes in the garbage. God knows. People. People in the bathrooms.
Yeah?
Oh my God, yeah. Oh yeah. We
Give us a good story.
We're not
of
giving
that.
names, but
No names at all.
We've seen feet in the stalls. Out of the stalls.
Asleep.
Out.
Oh, just
Out.
on the floor.
I'm not gonna give names.
No, I don't want names. But like falling asleep on the floor.
I'm gonna give you a name. My brother Matthew. So I opened this.
Sorry,
door.
Matt.
I opened this door one time, and he's out. He's tall enough where he can like have his arms up on like the dividers.
Yeah.
And my boy is out. My boy was out. So I'm like, Dad, can you come pick up my brother? Is he out again?
Oh, that's
He's out.
great.
He's out.
Yeah.
I don't want to rip Matthew. I love him to death. But,
No, of course.
I had to give him one. But yeah,
Yeah.
when he gets his arms up on the dividers, sometimes.
Go right out.
Yeah. The kid.
Right. Yeah, he's the baby brother.
He's the baby. There's four of us. He's the baby.
And anything like bathroom disaster stories? Now that we're talking about bathrooms.
Recently, right? I was fortunate enough that I was not here for this. I wasn't even in town, thank God, because I would have had to come. But we do have that influx of young children, and some of those young children are in the process of potty training. Mm-hmm. And we had an incident here a few weeks ago where we had a young man who just didn't make it. He just didn't make it. And if you've ever seen Daddy Daycare, that
Yeah.
where he walks in and he's like, "How did you make?" Like, just everywhere.
It was everywhere.
So Tim shut it down. He declared like a hazmat situation. Like
He had to shut the bar down?
Shut it down. It was horrific.
Yeah.
It was horrific, right? So we had everyone using the ladies' room at one time, and it was just to the point where one of us had to put a hazmat suit on and go in there, and Tim, the owner, bit the bullet.
He did it.
Oh, full hazmat suit, like painter's suit.
Yeah.
And did his work.
That's a good owner.
He's the best.
That's a good owner. Strap up and do it.
I've worked for a lot of people. He's the one that will get his hands dirty, man.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of guy you want to bang the draw for.
Without a
I
doubt.
tell
You
people that
respect
all
it.
the time, man. I tell owners that too, right? Like the bar business, there's so many ways you can get beat, right? You know that.
Yeah,
so
of course.
if you have a staff that wants to be successful for you, because I want Tim to have this bar forever.
Yeah.
I love coming
You treat
here.
your staff
That's
right.
great.
They want to treat you
And
right.
that's what he does, man.
Yeah.
And because of that, we bang the draw.
So, let's go back to when you were working in the city.
Good.
You were saying you used to perform on the bar a lot.
Yeah, so we had to do skits. We were a party bar, and I love 60s, 70s Motown. Like that's my vibe.
Yeah, give us what songs, like some of the...
Oh man, Ain't No Mountain High. I go up there and we do Mountain High, Valley Low,
Yeah.
I'm on a boat. That was our team.
That's what you're
one,
saying,
right? You hit the big chorus at the end.
You guys would all sit on the bar?
Yeah, we'd all hop up on the bar, straddling each other, like we were in a crew, boat.
Yeah, rowing a boat.
Row the boat. The bar backs are hitting us with spray water, buckets of water. I'm drowning. Paul Logan, my little buddy, I'm holding him down. We're waterboarding him in front of 800 people. It was absolutely bonkers. And we had inflatable sharks and shit. It was skits. We were all in, man.
Yeah.
The best one I did, and it was just so professionally like just solid was Roxanne. I'd go up there, 4 Bud Heavies in hand, bottles, and every time they say Roxanne, we're ripping them. And before you know it,
Bud Heavy reminds me of the red light. Oh. You don't have to turn on the red light.
Oh, little diesel, little fuel for the truck, And by the conclusion of the song, 300 people have an empty cocktail glass now because they just drank their whole drink, So it was a huge hit, And we did so many. One of my buddies used to do. This kid Jeff would do Duhas, and he'd go up there with the strobe light going, right? And he would just pour red wine on himself, man. And the strobe light would be going, and the place would be fucking turned upside down. We were a disaster.
He would stand up on the bar, pour red wine.
Strip down. It's my dad's first time visiting me in the city. My dad comes in one night. He walks into McFadden. Right now he's thinking 42nd and 2nd, East Side of Manhattan, 42nd Street, nice bar. Walks in. My buddy Jeff's up there just with his tidy whities on, pouring a bottle of red wine on himself. There's like 500 people here going.
With a strobe light.
Going bonkers. Going just out of control. The whole NYU's in there. Just wild. My dad's like, checks out. Going home.
Yeah, I missed that show.
Bye, Dad.
And then working at all these places you've worked at, from San Diego to the city to out here in Long Island, have you ever served any celebrities?
Yeah, quite a few.
Yeah.
So
give us a couple of those.
So Jay Williams, right? He was actually very good friends with the GM.
Jay Williams.
So he played for Duke.
Okay.
Won the national championship at Duke. Went to the NBA. He's actually, unfortunately, he was like notoriously known for getting in a motorcycle accident, and it kind of derailed his NBA career.
Okay.
When I was hanging out with him, he was just getting like back into the broadcasting end of it, and now he's like the college basketball, on ESPN.
Broadcast. Okay.
So Jay Williams would come a lot. Tiki Barber came to McFadden's quite a few times.
Okay, cool.
Really nice guy. Good tipper. I remember that. So Tiki. We had the Jersey Shore people come in one night. We hung out with Angelina. She came in one night.
All of them, or just?
No, it was Angelina. That was our our person that came in.
Cool.
We were a Buffalo Bills bar, McFadden's was.
Okay.
And then Calico's because they were connected.
Each bar in the city it's like
they take a team.
So
Turtle Bay took the Eagles. So
Okay.
Turtle Bay was an Eagles bar. So by the end of my career, I had like Eagles t-shirts, Bills t-shirts. I'm a long-suffering Jets fan, right?
Same. I'm with you.
But yeah, so it's smart. It's a great thing to do because in the city you're going to have fans from all over the country, right? So every bar like took a team.
Yep.
But we were the Bills bar. You'd have Bills players come in and
you'd get Bills players.
Yeah, like retired players.
Cool.
They bring them in, and they set them up in the VIP area. But no, yeah, it was not uncommon.
Who would be your dream celebrity to serve?
Shaq.
Shaquille
O'Neal. I love Shaquille O'Neal. Like,
Yeah.
I can't even tell you. Like,
I feel like he would be a really funny person. Like, he's always doing something silly.
that was such a quick answer because, like, NBA Tonight with him and Charles, like, I would die to hang out with Shaquille O'Neal for one night,
Yeah. He's a character, too. Like, he seems like he'd be really fun.
All the stuff he does, like, if you kind of dig deep into it, man, he's the real deal.
Yeah.
Like, he gives back. It's real. You
Yeah.
know, and I would love to have an evening with Shaquille O'Neal. And also to feel like a normal-sized human. That'd be cool.
He'd feel a little bit small.
Yeah. I mean,
Isn't he bigger? Like,
he's a monster. He's like 7'2". He wears like a 23. I wear a 17. He'd dwarf me.
He'd make you feel like me compared to you.
It was funny, too, because, us growing up together, I feel like so many of my friends that ended up being tall have told me, like, later on, be like, bro, like, I didn't realize I was tall until I left Bayshore and you and your brothers weren't around all the time.
Yeah.
Like Eric Matthews, right? Eric Matthews lived next door to me. Eric Matthews ended up being 6'2". But his whole life, his parents were like freaking out because he wasn't growing as fast as the kids next door.
Yeah. The 6'8" kid next door. So you've been in the industry a long time. What is something you can look back on and say bartending has taught you about yourself?
Honestly, like the ability to, I guess, push through that exhaustion, right? Because to do all the things that you do, and my wife says it all the time, and people say it all the time, like, when did you get out of work? And I'm like, I closed up like 4:15. Like, it's 8:30 in the morning right now. And I'm like, I know, man. But that's a really good, ability to have just because I'll sleep when I'm dead, and I have a lot I want to do and not a lot of time to do it. Right?
Yeah.
So
I feel a lot of people in the industry can definitely relate to that. Of like, sometimes you got to go do a late shift and come in the morning, and like, whether you're any kind of part of that industry, bartenders, DJs, security guards, they all know that, like, getting minimal sleep and still having to be on the next day, you know?
Yeah, because like, you also, like, you don't work to live, right? Or you don't live to work, right? You work to live. So, like, even though you put these hours in, like, you have to go enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
That was something that we did in the city. On Sundays, you know, there were the unfortunate few that worked, and during football season, we all worked because of the Bills bar. But Sundays, we would go to those city brunches and turn up.
And then for the customers that come in, what are some things a customer does that they think they're being helpful, but they're really just slowing you down? You know, like...
I feel like a lot of my customers at some point have been in the service industry, because I can't tell you how many people here drop their cups off, drop the bottles off, stack.
So they do help you out.
I'll be honest, man.
Yeah. And that's super appreciated.
Bro. My wife was a waitress for a long time, and always when we leave the diner with the boys, everything is stacked perfectly.
Yeah.
Everything's off the floor. You know who works in the industry, right?
Right.
But one thing that people do here that like makes my skin crawl is when they come in and they start moving the tables around. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, hey, I have 8 people coming in. I'm like, oh, bet. Well, funny story. Like, I actually have someone sitting here right now, and you just grab their table, you know?
Yeah.
So we do see a lot of that. That they come in, and again, that like I own this place, right? So,
Yeah.
Yeah, when they come in and start shifting tables around, that just gets under my skin.
Right. I get it. At least ask me for the help. Let me show you what's not going to be in our way.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it work. If I think we have a folding table outside, I'll get you in here, buddy.
Yeah.
But again, I know that I have a band coming in an hour.
Right.
I know that I'm putting catering out in 45 minutes. I can't have you there, brother.
So what's an unwritten bar rule, right? Something that your basic person should know that you would make a law.
When you're with a group, right, order all the drinks at one time.
Yeah.
Just even last night, wonderful group of people.
Yeah.
Hey, let me get an ultra. Bet. 30 seconds later, I need 2 nooners. All right, bet, no problem. I get back with the nooners. Oh, I need 2 Guinnesses. Like, oh, tell me that first, man, so I can start those, right? That just like, dude, when you have a group,
you don't need to order one by one.
Order everything at one time.
Yeah.
You know?
If I need to ask you, what was that?
Or the shots. Like, hey, man, I need 2 Mexican candies, 2 Cinnamon Toast Crunch, 1 white, green tea shot, 1 white tea shot. Like,
yeah.
Bro. Let's find a happy medium.
Yeah.
You pick 2, I'll make 4 of each, right?
Right.
Let's go. Oh, God, that kills you.
And you guys have a lot of live music here.
We had a lot of live music here. I'd say now you see it maybe once or twice a month.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was more often than that. Does the live music bring a different aspect to the bar scene?
So it depends who we're getting, right? So when we get like the Bayshore staples, right? When you get Digital, Irish, right? J House, right? Uncle Petey, any of the guys from the bands, okay? That's like our regular crowd, So we're appeasing, or kind of throwing a bone to our regular clientele, right? And then we get some of these bands that come in, and they bring. If you have a 5-person band, like they're going to bring in 40 people. Like it's great.
For sure, yeah.
Miss DeBonis.
They all have
remember
friends.
the volleyball coach, Miss DeBonis at the high school? Her husband's a drummer in one of our bands that come in all the time.
Okay.
And dude, they pack this place out. And it's really cool because a lot of the teachers that we had then come in to see her husband.
Yeah, so you're seeing,
it's wonderful, and it's actually weird too. Like, I'm like, oh, that's your dad. Oh, that's your mom. Oh, that's your sister. Like now making the connections.
Right.
Oh my God, like this makes total sense, right?
But the dynamic in the bar, right? It changes a lot. When you have live music, it's more lively. I feel
it's such a roll of the dice because if you have people that are coming in without knowledge of the music, sometimes that's an inconvenience to them, right? It's like older people with kids.
Too loud,
right?
Yeah.
And then there'll be nights where I have like all my friends from the Firehouse here, and man, if I had like Paris Ray playing right now, the whole vibe would just be even better.
Yeah.
However, when we don't have music, usually Richie and Ryan DJ a little bit, so it's on point.
They keep it up.
It's on point. Yeah,
nice.
So, yeah.
And then let's go into a fun little rapid fire part of the show.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Would you rather serve shots or mixed drinks?
Shots.
would you rather hang out in a cocktail bar or a dive bar?
Dive bar.
Dive
Oh my
bar.
God.
Same.
That's not even a question.
You
I
only
don't fit in most cocktail bars.
you only work one, but I was gonna say, what's the best night to bartend? I would think that you think it's Saturday because that's what you do, but
But, you know, I did work Thursdays when I was at the John Thomas. I did Thursdays and Saturdays. And that was a lot on me personally. Thursdays are a lot of fun because it's almost Friday.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost Friday.
yeah.
Friday nights are cool too because if you work Friday night, you actually have a weekend. Right?
Yep.
For me, it's like I don't want to go out and get banged up on Friday night because I'm working Saturday night, and then after I wake up Saturday at noon, it's Sunday. It's Sunday.
You got to go back to work
exactly.
on Monday, and yeah.
So no, I love Saturday nights, but there's something about working Fridays and Thursdays. It's almost Friday.
Yeah.
You know, so that's always.
And what would
fun.
be your worst night then to work?
Well, I don't really have a bad night, so whenever I work, they come in. Probably Tuesday.
Yeah.
Because Monday's cool. Because Monday, you got Monday Night Football a lot of the time. You have a lot of Monday holidays, Monday days off.
Yep.
But something about, well, now here we do those Taco Tuesdays, and me and my sons come in here and we take full
Destroy
advantage.
it.
We take full advantage, you know, we do.
Nice.
I'm not going to lie. But yeah, those midweek shifts as a teacher, I couldn't do it.
And what's the Taco Tuesday deal here?
You get the 3 tacos, like the regular big boy tacos, $10.
Nice.
Well, the best deal here is Thursday. You get $10 chopped cheese. It's wild. I don't know how he does it.
Yeah. Now you know the food here is delicious. Great deals.
So I love. So I do.
during the week, get over here.
I do love the food here, and a big reason I like the food here is my wife has allergies, right? And we will do whatever you need us to do. You know?
Okay.
I have guys from the firehouse who get like the child's quesadilla, I call it, right? It's just chicken and cheese. I'm like, what are you doing? You know, but like for someone like my wife who's allergic to a lot of things, it's great because we can do anything for you. You know.
Right. Who's a better tipper, men or women?
Well, the guys from the firehouse always do right by me, right? So it's kind of like swayed.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I'd probably say the women.
Yeah, the women treat you good.
You know what it is, man? The girls that come in here always feel very safe here. You know, myself and Ryan, we are always keeping it. If there's a group of girls that come in here without any guys with them, and I know it sounds like sexist, whatever, but we watch them. You know, we make sure we had the conversation.
I don't think that's sexist. I think that's you doing your job the right way. You know, you're supposed to keep an eye on.
We talk a lot about the personal space bubble that we talked about earlier.
Yep.
Right? So if I see someone getting into like a woman's personal space bubble, we'll have the conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, you let
With
them
me
know.
hovering over you.
Yeah. So that helps the women appreciate you. And in all your years, what's the best tip you've ever gotten?
We have this gentleman in the city. It goes back a while, but he tips $1,000 quite regularly. You know, he'd ring up like a $200 tab, and it was always funny because we'd always fight. Because when we were at Turtle Bay, the first floor was like the sports bar, and the second floor was like the club.
Yep.
And the sports bar, we'd probably be rocking from like 6 to 11, and then from like 11 to 3, the club would be rocking, right? So the bartenders on both floors, we didn't pool both floors.
Yeah.
Because sometimes if it was like a slow night, he'd cut, the club, or he'd cut the sports bar, and you just have to go directly upstairs or just stay downstairs, right? So it was always a competition of who's going to get him to stay on your floor, right? And what a guy, just polite. We come in.
$1,000 tip.
$1,000 bills.
Like more than once.
Often. We get cut, me and Phil, right?
Yeah.
His girlfriend, now wife, mother of children, is upstairs in the club. So we weren't going to leave the city yet, right? So he's like, oh, come back to my place. It's like 3 blocks away, blah, 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 blah. I've got Heineken's in the fridge. We're like, honestly, we're going to wait for Sam to get out of work anyway to get her home. So bet. We go to this guy's house.
Right.
So rooftop penthouse, off of Central Park. The whole house was gold. It was like looking at like a Donald Trump video from like the 90s.
It was all like painted
gold, everything, bro. This is the guy that gives $1,000 every night,
Yeah. And the way to wrap this up, we want your ultimate Bartender Bangaz moment. Something that defines your career, the story you want to tell the people that you've been itching to tell the people.
It's selfish, right? It's selfish.
Let's get selfish.
Because
let's get there.
If someone else was there, they probably didn't understand how like special it was in the moment, right? So one of our other bars was Johnny Utah's, okay? It was our only West Side bar. So people that don't understand the city, right? Everything else is on the East Side. Once you cross past like Lexington, Park Avenue, you get to the West Side, right? So Johnny Utah's was the only like real big country bar in Manhattan, and we had the Mechanical Bull.
Okay.
So we had the only like bowl in the city. We were the #1 bachelorette party in the city for like the entire 10 years that I was there. It was fucking wild. We had a Mechanical Bull. It's cheating.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm down there one night, basement bar, right? So right above us is Rockefeller Plaza. So like, I had to show like my ID to get into the area because everyone's waiting to go see the Christmas tree. I walk out the door, the Christmas tree's right there. West 51st between 5th and 6th, Johnny Utah's, right? Above us was the Rockettes. Okay.
Oh, so
the girls would come in every 4 hours. They had a show. So every 4 hours we would get 200 people coming out of the show into the restaurant, and every 4 hours this would happen. And then at the end of the night, all the girls would come down. So all these 4'11" girls who were the best athletes I've ever seen in my life, right? Like it just would come down. It was the Rockettes. So
yeah.
I'm working Utah's one night. I have no idea what's about to happen. Door opens, and all of a sudden, I just see all of my friends from Bayshore start walking in. Like all the guys, Luke Armstrong, Gary, Roy, guys from the firehouse, guys from the football program, guys from school walking in the bar, girlfriends, everybody from Bayshore comes in the bar, right?
Yeah.
So I got like 300 people in front of the fucking bar. Jump up on the bar, and I'm like, I'm not serving one more cocktail until that group of people is standing right the fuck here, right? I get them in. So now we're vibing. We're vibing, right? We're cocktailing heavily. My buddies are starting to get the heavy lean going. And one of my skits I would do, I get on the bar, bring a bar stool up there with me. I'd get the fruit tray, and we do Don't Stop Believing. I throw the aviators on. I get the microphone going, and I'd have like 500 people like singing along, right? As I'm up there, the Rockettes jump up there and start doing their kick line. So I'm up there playing the fruit tray. Don't stop.
And the actual Rockettes.
And the actual Rockettes are up there.
on the bar
Dude,
with
and my
you.
buddy Luke Armstrong, who owns Bright Bay Deli in town, is just like looking up at the bar, like smiling, like we were all just taken somewhere else. It was just so wild, and for kids from Bayshore, like we're not even close to the city. We're not city guys. We don't. As kids, we went to Fire Island. As kids, we went to Montauk. As kids, we went to Demo and Gilgo, like the beaches, right? So just to be able to share that city experience with my friends from home was...
And with the Rockettes. I mean, that is cool as can be.
It was cool because you got to know them. And again, they were all from all over the country. They were all Division I, All-American gymnasts, and just like ridiculous athletes, And they were up there doing their kick line on the bar at Utah's, and I'm up there doing Don't Stop Believing, playing on the fruit tray. And it was wild.
People are paying thousands of dollars to go see this Rockette show, and you got them performing on the bar with you.
My brother Andrew.
That's pretty ridiculous.
I'm pretty sure my brother Andrew with his now wife Zoe was like passed out in the corner. It was just, it was home met the city.
That's epic.
It meant a lot.
Wow. Rich, thank you so much for being here with us today. Your stories are as incredible as I thought they were going to be.
Yeah, we got a few.
Yeah, you are an amazing guy. A man of many hats, like we said.
It's just all that butterfly moment, man. I always think about being at the frat house that night watching Entourage and how different my life would have been had I not been the one to go to the city that night.
Yeah.
Because
So
working
true.
in the city, I was able to buy a house when I was 27 years old, take care of my family after Sandy.
Yep.
And it all became because of this industry. And it all became because I drew that fucking straw that night. Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, teach people always jump on any experience.
Never say no. I'm a yes man. I teach my kids that, my students, my kids. Just say yes. You never know what's going to happen.
You can always back out once you're in it if you hate it.
100%.
But, yeah.
100%.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to this week's episode of Bartender Bangaz. Big shout out to the Brightwaters Inn for letting us film here. Bigger shout out to Rich for squeezing us into his busy schedule. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Follow us on TikTok. And make sure, if you're a bartender that wants to be on the show, hit us up in the DM. We'd love to have you. Make sure to always keep your nights banging, not boring. And I'll catch you next week. Peace.